So in this extra bonus video, if you will, I wanted to cover something that comes up pretty frequently in my class. Students are asking, how do we change out Ethan? How do we change out this model for something else? So there's a couple ways you can do that. One, of course, is the asset store. You can open up your asset store. We know you can come to 3D models, you can go to characters, you can go to humanoids, and you're going to get a lot of options. If you search by price, you can even find a lot that are free. The downside to this is, that I've found, my students have found, is it's hard to know what you're getting. Say if I click here on my Goblin Ranger, this one does actually tell me how it's rigged, so this one's nice. There's two different ways of rigging a character. There's the Mechanine humanoid, and there's a generic rig. A lot of models don't tell you which is which. Watch now, this one will just say it as well. Right, like this one just doesn't say how it's rigged, so you can spend a lot of time downloading these, trying to get it into to replace Ethan, and it doesn't work very well. So if you can find one like that Goblin Ranger, okay, this Mechanine humanoid, that's great. That's what we want. If you can find that, great. If not, there's another resource, and that's this website here, Mixamo or Mixamo. You do need an Adobe account to get into it. It's totally free. And once you have an account and you're registered, you'll have access to a bunch of different tools here. This first one here, Adobe Fuse, is a standalone program to create characters. Right? You can see here, you can choose all kinds of options: clothing, skin tone, body shape. What I do want to show here is the second option, the 3D characters. So we'll click on that. You got to click on Find Characters. You got to click on Characters again. They do make it a little challenging to get to, a lot of clicks. And then you get previews of all these characters that are available for free. And these will work as a replacement for Ethan. So maybe I'm just going to pick the boss here. And I get my boss. Okay. Right now there's no animations. I'm not going to cover that right now. But I can click this to add to my assets. Once I've done that, I get a view download option. Okay. And then I get a queue download. So I'm going to queue the download. Now, we want it in the FBX format. You can see some other options. I'm not sure what the difference between FBX for Unity and FBX is, but let's choose the FBX for Unity. And we want to keep this in T-pose, right? That's this pose that you can see the character in now with their arms straight out. So we're going to queue that download. Process a little bit. I hit download. Okay. Now that I've got that downloaded, I got to do a few steps to get this into Unity. Click the option here, Show in Folder. And this is into my very messy downloads folder. Just for ease, I'm going to drag and drop it into my desktop. Okay. Close that out. I'm going to go back to Unity. And in my base folder here, Assets, I'm going to create a new folder called Characters. This is just for organization. Open that up. And then I'm going to right-click, Import New Asset. And on my fairly messy desktop, grab the boss. Okay. So you can see it's brought in a bunch of different stuff here. I got some materials here. Got some other textures and materials there. I got materials. Here I have textures. And here's the actual boss prefab. We need to make a couple changes to this. So if we click on the boss, we'll get these import settings. And under rig, we need to change the animation type from generic to humanoid. And if I just push apply, I think it'll figure it all out. I get a little check mark there that it's good to go. And then I can drag my boss into the scene. All right. Now, as is, this boss it has no controller on it. It has no animations on it. So it's just going to be a static figure. To change that, we're going to take the boss, the whole object, and make it a parent of this, or a child of this third person controller. I'm going to reset the position. So now the boss is right on top of Ethan. Okay. Now, I'm going to take all the Ethan parts here, the skeleton, the body, the glasses. I'm going to turn those off. And then I'm going to open up the boss parent object here. So this parent object is essentially empty. It's got an animator, but that's not very useful. What I have in here is the boss's hips. And you could open this up, and these are all the bones that make the animation. And then the meshes, these are all the visual parts of the boss character. So I'm actually going to grab these two and drag them out so that they are a child of this third-person controller. I'm going to get this warning here. It's all right. We're going to continue. I'm going to drag those all the way up to the top. I don't think that matters, but we're going to drag them all the way up to the top. And then I'm going to get rid of this boss. So that's what it should look like right now. The boss hips and the boss mesh are active. I'm leaving all the Ethan bits in there. No real good reason, but they're turned off. So the next thing we need to do, we need to click on this third-person controller. And what you can see here is the avatar is missing. So we need to find that avatar. And back down here in our project view, we have our boss. If we open that up, at the end here, we can see this icon, which is the avatar icon. I'm going to bring that and drag and drop that into the avatar slot. And that should do it. That should be enough that we can now run around with our boss. So let's check. We'll push play. You can see that the character is now animating. As I run, the boss is working and collecting the spheres with a very annoying beep sound. So there you go. Couple steps you have to do to import it, but we've replaced the standard Ethan character with a model of our own choosing. Hope that was helpful. Thanks for joining. I'll see you next time.